Hello, 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 and welcome to the Entertainment News with Enrico Alfonso. Joining me today is the amazing director, creator, and all-time favorite writer of the Honeymoon movie that just released this weekend, Bianca Isaacs. Thank you so much for joining us today. Hey, B.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. Oh my God, so many words, nice words
I have
consecutively, one
so much
after the
more to
other.
edify you, though. I was saying thank you so much for joining us and I love that we're doing this post-release so we can actually talk about some of the themes of this movie. And everybody had a chance to watch it this weekend. But so we're going to be talking about a lot of stuff that's happening in the
Okay,
movie.
great.
But
I
we'll try
love
to
that.
avoid spoilers. But like some of the stuff is just in terms of, or the ones that I want to talk about is more on how you created this and how did this happen and the behind the scenes of this, you know? So it's not
Yeah,
really
yeah.
giveaway.
I love
All
that.
right.
I love
So
that.
first things first, can you tell everybody at home in your own words what this movie is about?
So The Honeymoon is a an adventure comedy chick flick that will take you on a roller coaster journey. And just when you think you know what's going to happen next, it will definitely show you something else. It's about a group of friends. The one gets dumped the night before her wedding, and the other two friends decide, listen, man, that honeymoon is paid for already. Let's go on an adventure.
Yes.
And it's basically about three girls having an adventure in another town.
Awesome, awesome. And I just want to say from my side, the writing is so superb in this. Every single joke pops off. I was saying it's fresh, it's dashing, it's bold, it's ridiculously bold at times. And even after three watchings, I am still laughing my ass off at most of the jokes. So really, you did such an epic job on just the writing of the jokes in this movie. So well done. That is just my
That's so cool that you would say that. You know, we were worried um, in every script read through that we go through, even with the actors and my producer, Greg, we'd always worry that people would not get the joke because it's not on the nose.
yeah.
And I kept saying to them, guys, don't worry, man. If no one laughs, it's fine. But I'm not going to
No, no, I
do
was
the
saying from my
slapstick.
side, even the movies that claimed, and from everything that I've watched so far this year, even the movies that claimed to be comedies did not pop off as much as the jokes that you had in this series. So we'll
I
get
think because it's real, right?
yes,
A
yes.
lot
And
of
I
the
think
things they
one of
say are
your
real.
one of the things that you really excelled in was that you trusted your actresses. You know, you trusted
Yeah.
into me to really like to you probably like just go nuts, do whatever you want to, but it's like you trusted her to like really make sure the jokes just pop off.
Actually, with Tumi, we worked quite a bit because um, we specifically didn't want her to be looked at like another character she already played.
Mm,
Um, so she's always used to playing these fun characters who like drink a lot and have party vibes and but she's never played a character who had all of that like to the maximum level. Everything about her is overboard but also had a very deep underlying issue going on. Um, and I'm sure a lot of us, if we look back, we've got some mom issues lying around somewhere, right?
yes.
Um, and that for me made the character very real in that sense. And we worked quite a bit to remove Toomey from Toomey and everything else that
Ah,
the the entertainment world defines her as. And how do we bring this crazy ass Knox? I mean, when she was like, "I got it, it's the tongue, Knox rocks." Ah. I'm like, okay, okay, let's
yeah, we did
go.
not
You know,
expect the tongue and the length of the tongue and the shape of the tongue and everything like that as well.
lovely. So yeah, her character.
So was it a lot to do with the script, or was it also improvised as well in terms of what she can bring to the table as a comedian and as a stand-up?
Well, I loved whatever they could bring to the table, I kept in. So funny thing is, we were discussing. I don't know, the night at the beach scene where the girls are all
Oh,
together.
you mean where
And
Kajal drops the bomb? Are you talking about that one?
so that the bomb was scripted, and in the beginning, no one really understood, like, why is this funny? Is this a thing? And then I had to take them through this process of how this is a thing, guys.
No, no,
Like,
it's
and
definitely a
we
thing. But the thing is that that's the extreme part of, let's say, the jokes. I would say the most extreme part of the joke, right? That's in the entire movie. So what made you, okay, let's talk about that one since we brought it up. What made you decide like that was gonna be in that movie as like a fetish that okay, spoiler alert for everybody that's listening. If you haven't watched the movie yet, either drop a follow or come back later. But we're talking about a scene where Kajol comes out and says that her deep dark secret for the partner is that she, I don't know if we could, no, we can't say this on radio, but that she, oh, damn it, I don't know how to say it. It's
Okay, okay. Okay,
unsayable.
let me say it for you.
Okay.
Um, so spoiler alert.
Hmm.
Um, Katya's character, played by Kajal Bhagwandeen, reveals that her partner, Vivan, likes a golden shower.
Ah, that's such a good description. Yes. Okay, so we'll use golden shower as
And
like
shower. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So the golden shower thing,
it's
like
like an
it
extreme
re
fetish that you wouldn't expect in a movie. So yeah, let's talk about what made you decide to put that specific fetish in this. Like of all the fetishes in the world to reveal, you chose that one.
I think it's like I wanted to add in a fetish that didn't come too sexualized, but also gave the the nuances of being sexual. And that's kind of the easiest thing, right? I mean, if we're gonna go through sex fetishes, we'll be here forever. And I think
True.
they all just get weirder and weirder. But also, if you're not into fetishes and you hear that joke, you will also laugh at it.
Yeah.
So it doesn't alienate anybody at the same time. But interesting enough, when we were rehearsing that scene and practicing, Tumi said to me, "Oh my God, I'd love to golden shower here right now." And we laughed about it, ha ha ha. And then we came back to set to shoot the film, the scene. And she gets the updated script notes. And she's like, "What? It's in the script." I'm like, "Yeah, man, let's go." If you're down, I'm down. Let's do it. So the
But I think it's just
collaborating
very
is quite good.
unexpected that you would put this in the movie as a joke, you know? Not as like as a joke, yes, but as an actual experience that your character goes through. But also that you put it in, that you had that bravery and that courage to be like, we're putting this extreme joke into the movie as part of the scene, you know?
I think when you find your voice,
Mm.
finding your voice when you're telling a film can't come with restrictions. And
Oh,
so, and I've only just learned that. I mean, hello, for
yes,
films
but I have to say, you truly
later.
found something special inside you with this movie because I cannot hype the script enough. You like truly changed the game with the script. You really, the conversations are just smooth flowing and organic. It's not like, you know, like in movies when they overuse terms like, listen here, guys, look here, or I need you, like, look, understand this, or listen. Like they say it over and over. But with you, it's just organic conversations. And also, I think one of the themes or elements of that scene that we're talking about now with the golden shower is the amount of sharing that happens between a friendship, especially a
Yeah.
friendship with three friends or with three women or women in general, is that you share. You know, you don't, there's like
Mm.
no hold bars. You know, you just go and you
We
share.
actually we cut that scene down a bit, we cut out so many nice things because of time. But that scene kind of tied in with the scene earlier on in the beach when Kajal meets Kat meets Darius for the first time and she's kind of
Is that
tipsy.
Chris Jafta?
And yes, that's
Ah, I was
Chris
wondering
Jafta,
who is
correct.
this dude that keeps popping up as Darius, man.
So we kind of tied in the sexual innuendos to that scene where she like offers up herself and all her friends to go party with her.
Because
But, that would have been repetitive information. So we had to try and squeeze in as much as possible. I mean, the first cut of this film came in at 3 hours. The second cut came in at 2.5 hours, and Greg and I were like, we love it. Let's go. And everybody's like, no, no one's gonna watch a 2.5 hour movie.
What's it down to
So
now on the final cut?
an hour, 45 minutes.
Oh
So we
my
had to
gosh.
really work out and cut
Wow.
some beautiful
Yeah,
scenes.
I can
We
imagine.
cut a lot of the jokes out. So I allowed Tumi played a lot on set. So sometimes we would just leave her and let the camera roll, and we would get these.
See how it
In
goes, yeah.
fact, I should actually cut a beautiful bloopers reel, um,
You should,
and
man.
and
Oh,
show
but I'm
it.
guessing like the club scenes as well. You just recorded and saw where she danced like naturally, and it was just like the vibe.
Oh no, those club scenes were choreographed by Ikram. I
Oh,
don't know
wow.
if you saw the two behind the scenes that we released, like Knox's dances
Yeah, yeah,
and
I did.
Cat's
Oh,
songs.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. The dancing, yeah.
So they
I
were
was shocked
choreographed.
Knox could move like that, man. I was like, wow, where did
So
this
it was
come
a
from?
whole sequence. But in the end, as beautiful as sequences are, it cannot be one music video after the other. So we cut it, edited to the music, and then we got out of there as soon as possible. But it told a story. I mean,
Yes.
that one goes on for a while. She eventually jumps on a guy
No,
and he
but
like swings
that
them
was a
around.
beautiful edit. You know, like even just showing the bodies and like the way that they were moving and the rhythm to the, you know, the club scene and the dancing, but just them having fun, like Minnie having fun with, you know, Kyle. Those were really
Mm.
cool edited scenes. I loved it. It showed.
Oh yeah. So this is my one, two, three. This is my fourth film with my editor. And prior to that, he did all my series. Um, and it's so interesting for us because every film I make is a different genre.
Oh,
So yeah, yeah. So we've done like rom-com, we've done drama, we've done sports, and now we're here at a chick flick. And he did an amazing job, and it really did make
yeah,
me
yeah.
some
It's
fun.
such a beautiful edit in so many different places. But I want to talk about a specific scene, and I actually wanted to even get Kajal to answer this on this part, but specifically for you, it's the Kajal scene with the presents. You know, so it's
Yeah.
after I think it's is it after they do the whole war thing where
Yes, yes.
they
Up to the
repeat the
burger joint.
yeah. So
Yeah.
after the burglar scene, it's just Kajal. She's left alone. She's left with the presents that she had gotten for her wedding, and she's opening them and reading all these messages about people that are wishing her well, and now she doesn't have Ivan there with her. So she's like really sinking into it, right? And then the scene
Mm.
is so vulnerable, it's so gripping because the emotion she shows is like it really looks very real, you know. So I want to talk about that scene, you know, you creating it. Okay, let's do it in stages, right? So the first part is what inspired that scene and how did you create it with the character or with the cast?
I guess for me, the film was really like we moved along quite quickly, but Kat never had a moment to herself or a moment to pour out her real feelings. And sticking in line with the character who does not want everybody to know the truth. You know, she vehemently denies getting dumped, even though she's been dumped, right? Um, she refuses to tell the truth or stand up or acknowledge that, this is the situation. And we needed a moment of vulnerability for her, which was not going to come through in a scene. It was not going to come through with her and Vivan together where she is begging him face to face, right? Because I'm pretty sure that's what everybody expected. But a moment of vulnerability only truly comes when you're alone,
Mm,
where you can really process this is what's happening to me right now. And within that moment of vulnerability is an act of desperation because she's frantically trying to call him. She's hoping that she will find an answer somewhere. I'm going to read this. Maybe there's something in here for me. Try calling him. Um, and then you get to that point. When you're on your own and you are at that point, if you're in your house, guaranteed you're going to throw your phone on the floor and kick some shit. And so
yes.
it was just having that metaphor come through and feeling that vulnerability with there's nothing worse than breaking your wedding presents. This gift that was supposed to given to you to start your life,
Yes.
with these beautiful words, and also the way we did it on screen. It's like you see this beautiful word, but it evaporates just like
Yes.
the situation. And so it's all these little nuances and layers that actually gave that scene a lot of power.
Yeah,
And I always said to
I think
Kajal,
it's so relatable. I think it's one of the most relatable and real scenes in the entire movie because, like you said, it's her. It's just her. And so
mm,
many of us can relate to that moment right after the breakup, where you pass the denial now. You're like in the almost acceptance phase, but at the same time, you're left with like the fallout. You're left with
mm.
either the life that you wanted to create for yourself or the fallout of everything around you just crumbling, and that's how you made
And
that.
especially if you're trying to hold a facade,
Yes. And it's all just
because
coming apart. It's
she
like
still
everything's
does,
been
she
done.
holds that moment right until the very end. Even when they're fighting and broken up, she refuses to let that moment go.
Yeah, so let's talk about the direction and the filming of that. How did you capture that? How did you sort of direct Kajol during those moments to get that scene? Did it take like 500 takes?
No, no, actually not. It was a beautiful story and it was funny. So what we had set up, so what happens is everybody sets up the shot, we talk about it, and then they generally leave me alone with the actors so that I can work through how we're going to process this. So that day was a rough day for everybody, and especially Kajal. She'd been shooting night shoots and all of that. So when she got to set, we had our alone time together and we were prepared to take it in one go. So she knew exactly what she was going to do from the beginning till the end, and the emotions were going to flow. So she had to go into a place within herself as an actress where she would live Katya from the moment she made that first phone call. And without stopping, without the camera would find her where he would find her in moments. And I would not stop any of that until the very end. And if it didn't work out, then, would have to bring out the tear stick and start again. And so that's how we played it. So a lot of it went in the preparation and
But she
the
just flowed with
filming
the
of it
emotion.
should just flow. The funny part is that she was so ready. She was so ready to cry. We were in the zone, getting ready to shoot. We're in the middle of this heartache scene,
I
and
don't know how you would cry on command like that for cameras, man.
as she starts crying, oh, flies a plane over.
Oh no.
We're
I
like, okay, let's just keep rolling. Maybe it will work. And then she builds up again, and then another plane comes through. It was just ridiculous. But I don't think it's a command thing. I don't think it's like a cry and then actors are able to go into an emotional space. Um, I think it's a lot of talking and they have to really find themselves in that space. So that's why we need all this time. Putting up the camera and setting up for the shots and filming is important. But if you can't get a performance, nobody cares how beautiful the shot looks, right?
Yeah, true. But I think like I said, it's a very relatable thing. So I think, she could just draw on what her experiences and all of our experiences of that moment after that breakup, where really literally
Absolutely.
everything around you is just falling apart. I mean, I really felt that on screen. I mean, I know it's a woman, but I was really feeling, I was like, holy shit, I've went through this before.
Yeah. And I think as much as the film is positioned as a chick flick, there's something I don't think guys are gonna get bored in this film.
Yeah,
Like
they
guys
were
are
they
definitely gonna
recorded
get the
those three
joke.
guys. Did you see? They came out of the movie. They were like, the one
Yeah.
dude was like, I hate Vavan. I don't want to know Vavan. We just hate Vavan. The other dude was like, I haven't been to a cinema in 4 years. Thank you so much for bringing me out and all of that stuff. So they really enjoyed it. It wasn't like they had any critiques about it. They loved it.
I think because it's quite real.
Yeah.
It's not like we didn't
And
go
there's
out of our
jokes.
way
It's
to
not just a chick
separate.
flick. There's like real actual comedy that you can
Yeah.
laugh your butt off with, man.
I was surprised at people laughing at like weird moments of like, oh my
No,
God,
we
I
were
didn't
laughing
realize
for
that's
everything,
funny.
man. We were really laughing for everything. And getting appalled at certain places like name apps actually saying no to Mini Lamini. Like, how does that happen? That's not
I know,
possible.
right?
We were all like,
We had a
no,
whole
come on, dude.
cinema
Yeah,
go. I sugar winner.
we were like, how? Mini Lamini is dressed in a freaking outfit in a costume, and you're like saying no to her.
But I guess, look, that is a reality, right? It's one of the other themes you want to. I can almost guarantee you now, 50% of men and women, if not more, are trying to spice up their sex life.
Yeah.
And one of them is not brave enough to take the first step because they're afraid of rejection. They don't know how to talk about it. And they most probably have lost that connection because they've lost their individuality in that relationship. And the characters that name apps and mini play are so important because it takes the audience on that journey of I should say something.
Yeah.
I can
But I think
talk to my partner.
it's also a common theme in so many love stories and so many things that make you want to like scream at the screen or like shout in frustration with love stories. It's that miscommunication. It's that I think one way about how our love life should be, and then the other person thinks the other way of how it should be. Like name apps, or sorry, what's his character name again?
Andile.
Andile, man. Right. And 3 times I watched this movie and I still don't remember the names.
You
Andile.
should watch it again.
I knew you were gonna say that. Okay. So Andile thought, and you even hear in his conversation, another spoiler alert, sorry. But he says that he thought his entire being was supposed to be to protect the family and protect them, and that's all he was focused on. He wasn't really focused on the sexual desire and the spicing things up or making things more
I
spontaneous.
don't think it's that. I think it's when you focus on protecting the family, and I know I'll give you an even bigger percentage. And 90% of parents are going to agree with you. When you start protecting the family and you forget about the couple, the husband and the wife who made the family.
Yeah. No, you become a
Everybody
unit.
gets
You grow into that unit, and you forget that it was two
who
people
you
that still made.
are.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And so I think it's getting back to that. And that happens to be a personal, um, sometimes sexual, but a highly vulnerable space that is so intimate
yeah. I think it's
that
more about intimacy. I know we talk about. I mean, it
mm,
it ultimately evolves into a sexual nature eventually, or all the time. But it is intimacy. It's like I want more intimacy
correct.
from this person.
Yeah, yeah,
But again,
100%.
it's the miscommunication. If they had just, like you said, say something at some point, even to
From
just
the
have a
beginning, nip it in the
yeah.
bud.
Well, okay, it's hard to nip it in the bud because like you said, a lot of people are gonna come into this movie and be like, "Oh, damn, this is my life. I need to change
Yeah.
something." And
Yeah,
Kaja
yeah.
was saying, even in an interview, a lot of the women or a lot of the couples are gonna be kind of quiet, to not admit that this is what's happening to them. But we hope that the message is going to be, change some stuff, find some new stuff to do.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, even if you look at Kajal's character, also so many women that are in their own right a master and a leader but they're just dating the wrong guy
I know,
who,
right?
it comes down to
And not
everything we
even a
say,
master, a goddess. And they
a
like date in
goddess.
this messed
Yeah.
up pool that's so
Like
toxic.
I always ask my partner when I get dressed, I'm like, oh my God, babe, how do I look? Just like for your opinion. But if he doesn't like what I'm wearing, that's his opinion. It
Yeah.
doesn't mean I'm going to change what I'm wearing. But I know, like, making the simplest example. Sometimes a guy could be like, oh my God, are you really wearing that? And it can just diminish your entire self-confidence for the day. That's why Vivan a lot of times was like, I laughed at the end when he was like, "You changed the dress I got for you.
Oh yeah, it
Now your
doesn't match your
eyes are
eyes or
getting
some
lost
crap
in
like that.
this
Yeah, yeah. And
light."
I was like, who talks like that? Come on. You can't be seriously
Even
getting married today and you talk like that.
no, I think men there are men that are that oppressive
Oh
in a
yeah, yeah.
way,
Not in the sense of dress, but they are
controlling.
very oppressive. They're like, you can't do that.
Mm.
Or why did you make this for my friend? It shouldn't be that way.
And
Certain things
so
like that.
also
Yeah,
letting a lot of women also the moment they're married and the invitations have been sent out and the wedding is happening, it's very hard for them to back off
yeah.
because of every
Because
reason
they have,
except
yeah, because they have so much
themselves.
more commitment in that whole
Yeah.
process,
Except
especially with the families.
what it's doing to
Yeah,
them.
yeah. No,
So
no,
that's
that's
quite
definitely.
nice. And I mean, if you look at Tumi's character, I mean, how many people do you know in this day and age that are exactly that? Social
Wow.
media hungry,
Yeah.
doing
So
the most. I mean, for someone to wake up in the morning and throw out a half naked picture of themselves for likes, and you're like, what is going on?
yes. Or even just like with her going to the club and doing all these crazy things, like and like just partying like crazy is insane. You
But
know?
it's also the other side of the world that so that character actually deals with two things. As much as it's the influencer who's doing all of these things, they don't do that in isolation. So in there's the other side of the world that's saying, "Oh, we'd love to give you these things, but you need more followers."
Yeah, that we
Or
related a
we're going
lot.
to give you these things because you have followers. And
Yes.
so that's kind of where the world is evolving
Yeah, no,
into
it's a
right
it's a
now.
certain kind of pressure when it's like, okay, we need a certain amount of engagement from you online for us in order for us to, give you stuff and do things for us as well. But I think with the two,
And then when and then when it's finished, when you do the posting and you do the things and you made everybody happy, you're still sitting with unhappy self,
yeah.
unfulfilled self.
Who was the actor that was Tumi's landlord?
Robbie Collins.
Yes, okay. That
He's
dude, that
amazing,
dude also,
right?
yeah, he's super funny in this, but he also summed it up as well, where he was talking and he was like, yeah, I follow you online, and even when things are going great, but you broke, something along those lines. And it was like
Oh, he
that
said,
that had
I
so much
saw,
credence.
yeah, he said you haven't paid your rent, and that was fine when
When you were
things were
doing well
going
online.
well, when you
Yeah.
were doing, but I saw social media and things are not going well. And that's, you see, even your landlord has now changed his opinion
Yes.
about you.
But it's just that comment on even when things look well online. Like even that time when Tumi was um behind on her rent, in debt, not getting parts, all of that stuff. On social media, what it is presented. Her having great time, going to party, going to Zanzibar, all of these epic
Yeah.
things that just happen in her life that look epic, but does not reflect her actual financial, position in the world. And that's such truth because that happens to so many of us. We all
I mean, I
present this
laughed
epic life,
so hard
but yeah,
when
it's not.
we had this one scene where we were like, okay, so she didn't take her bags to Zanzibar because she got kicked out. What if she just draped herself in a bathrobe and
That's
went to
so
dinner?
freaking
Like,
that was amazing, man.
you
And
only have so many outfits, you got to make
yeah,
it
but she
work.
was making it rock like it was one of her outfits for the evening. That's what
Yeah.
cool one.
And
And
then the next
speaking
day
of that,
goes shopping and buying stuff that she doesn't have money to purchase,
exactly, yeah.
right?
I mean, I don't even know how she did that in the first place because she didn't have the money. But then,
Crazy.
okay, let's talk about that scene where she was wearing the bathrobe. There's that guy that comes in that sings on the guitar. Who is that? And what was that song that he was singing? Because it was really beautiful.
His
Apart
name
from
is
Kajol, I mean,
Brendan.
Katia losing herself with that song.
His
But yeah,
name
it
is
was a good song.
Brendan. We met him in Durban. He's a musician down in Durban. So he made music for that.
Was that
And he
his
did the
song that he sang
songs.
for that part?
Yeah,
Oh, wow, that's
yeah.
a really good
He
song.
sang his own song. And then he also did music on the Sangeet and the wedding.
Ah, yes. Okay, I was talking to Greg. I need the soundtrack for this movie. He was saying it's under lock and key, but I need it. It's so good. I need the whole entire soundtrack.
I
Please,
need
can you get it
everyone
for
to go to the cinema first, and then we'll release
and
the
then you release it.
soundtrack.
That is that the hold up with it. I love it though. When it does release, I'm really gonna hype it up because it's such a beautiful soundtrack. Every single song just pops in this movie.
Our composer is Sam.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
got a
Give the shout
beautiful
out.
studio, Pixel Wave audio. He's great. He did a lot of the composition. And then Greg, who's our producer, is also our music supervisor.
Oh,
So he worked really hard with Zwandile and team at Creative Agency, and they did a lot of our international music as well. So the music team was quite big, and then we had Younger Chief come and make us the Fight Club song. Um, so music is a whole production. You know, the thing about film is that every aspect of it is a production.
yes.
I almost
And
use
that's
some
gonna
of my
be our
colorful
next,
words.
and that's gonna be our next discussion. All right, we're back here with Bianca Isaacs, the awesome. Is it Isaacs or Isaac? Keep mixing that
Isaac,
up. With no S at the end. No
without
problem.
no S at the end. Yeah.
I keep saying Isaacs. All right, we're back on air with Bianca Isaac from the Honeymoon movie that came out this weekend, and we're chatting about everything that has to do with this movie and specifically with her as director and creative writer on this movie. I just want to talk about the production and how that all came together. It's so fascinating to me, especially when you shared the behind the scenes of all these intricate people working together to get it done. So, as an overview, can you tell us about how this production comes together? You know, like who schedules the days? Who plans this whole project as a whole? You know, the overview of it. Like, how does that happen?
Oh, wow. That's not an easy answer. So there's various stages. There's the overall planning, which myself, Gregory, and I actually do,
Okay.
where we plot out all the phases. Like in this period, we need to achieve this. In this period, we need to finish in Durban. This period, we need to be in Zanzibar. This period is for music. So the big picture is done by us, and then each phase needs a person who runs that. So,
So
you
is
know,
so
your
is
first
those people the ones that do like the itinerary, you know, like they gotta do this on this day, shoot this, have this done on these days. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, so the person who does that is called a first AD.
Ah,
Um, his job is to take the script and schedule it, and then he would often sit a lot with me and say, "Okay, on we want to try and achieve these scenes in one day," and then it will be a discussion depending on how I've planned to film that, if it's possible to shoot it in the number of hours that you have. So it's a math game, but your creative has to be ready so you could do the math on it.
but still, I'm
Um,
trying to figure out like how you as a director go like these are the periods I need to get. Like, how do you split the phases and things like that?
Well, my background is producing, so that's easy for me. It's stuff you can do in sleep, right?
Wow.
Directing
Okay.
is the hard work.
Yeah. Oh
And
yeah, I can imagine.
I have a great support structure. Like my producer Greg is really good. My production team was really good. Um, the ADs that I had come work with me, Francois, Philip, Lungs, they were all really great, supported the vision. So it was much easier. It's much easier if you know what you want. It becomes
Ah,
difficult when you don't know what you want, you're behind schedule, nobody, because if you don't know what you want, then it's difficult for the team to plan. So when you entered our set for pre-production, you got given a booklet and a Google Drive folder that had exactly how each set was going to look and what the colors were going to be, so that because the time we have to plan is so short, if that is the jumping off point is coming straight from my head and has everything I want, you're only going to come and make it better.
wow. Okay, so let's talk about how you said that, or how you mentioned, especially in your opening speech, that this movie took 26 days to shoot.
Oh
Now,
my
to
God, can you
me, in
believe
my
it?
mind, 26 days is a very short. Like when we think about movie productions and whatever, we think like 3 months or something, they've gone away and shooting somewhere, you know? But 26 days, you shot this in five.
Listen, I have the gray hair to prove
But
it.
just walk me through that. And specifically, 5 days shooting in Zanzibar, which is a big chunk of this movie that you shot in 5 days. I can't even comprehend that. Please explain to me how you'll even put that in an itinerary. I was like, we're gonna shoot this in 5 days.
Look, filmmaking, it is what it is, right? So you can go shoot in a studio in Atlanta and have shot the mountains of Russia.
Mm.
So filmmaking is exactly that. You could be anywhere and everywhere to make what you need. So
Okay, I see what you mean.
Durban is such a beautiful location, not only to film in, but to be able to adapt into various other locations. And I guess when we say Durban's a destination for filming, we're not being literal like all the time. It's beautiful to film, but we're not saying, hey, come show Durban off.
Yeah.
We're also saying, come here to do business with us because
Yes.
we
It's
can
like
be all
Vancouver.
these
Everybody
things.
goes to film in Vancouver, but they basically just make
And
these places in there. Yeah.
yeah, and Vancouver's not getting upset about that, right? The industry is
Exactly.
growing, everybody's happy. But if you're looking for a tourism tag, it's not going to work. So Durban was able to provide that base for us that we got to film in 21 days. And then the other 5 days, we had to plan meticulously
Yes,
what we
meticulously
were,
planned.
yeah, to the T.
Is that like in a
Like,
sense of you just getting chucked everywhere yourself, or you like, I know where I'm going next. We're doing this
oh
here.
no, we all know exactly what the plan is. Because when we say move, nobody must say where we're moving. Everybody must know you're moving and where you're moving
Wow.
to. So that's why I say my production team was really, really solid. We had our finger on the ball the entire time. And Zanzibar wasn't easy. There was a time where you couldn't shoot in the midday because the sun was just too hot. Um, you couldn't start early in the morning because the sun doesn't rise early enough. You couldn't shoot late at night because the sun doesn't set late early enough. So it's
So
just
would
like,
that mean that you'd have to adapt on site and be like, okay, we have to move this scene to this time and things like that?
well, we kind of knew that before because
Okay.
we had gone earlier to check out. So
Oh, right. Yeah,
when
those 5 days that you went.
I
Okay.
know people think that we go there to have fun when we look, but these are things that we do, right? You go sit at a place and you're like, oh, this is what the sunrise is like, and then go do all your things and then come back and be like, this is what the sunset is like. No, that's not going to work. Let's go find another place and stalk it. And you only get one sunrise and one sunset, so you can only do that so many times before you have to pick something.
Wow. That is just, I'm just the planning process of all of this stuff just sounds fascinating to me. That I think as a director, you have to have that overview and you have to be like, okay, you have lots of mini plans to put together, but what's the big picture going to look like once you have all the puzzle pieces in place?
I think you also need all of that information. Like, so Kajal, Greg, and myself, and Asisipo, as you know, we have been on the project for 4 years. Well, yeah, between 3 to 4 years. Greg and I have been on it longer. But we designed it in a way that we should always be in sync. So that when an issue comes up, we know all the repercussions of that issue. So all the solutions that come to the table are very much in line because we're all on the same page all the time. So you couldn't break, I mean, you could try break us up. That's not going to work. I mean, this team is solid as a rock. So
Dude, I
that
can
was like,
imagine 26 days. I'm just stressing that one more time because it just sounds ridiculous to me.
we had 26 days. On a daily, we had 70 people a day to manage. And on big party days, add in another 100, 200 people.
Oh
And we
my
had COVID tests
gosh.
every day.
Yeah, I can't even
We
imagine
had
that. Imagine that.
working in
God,
masks. It
that's
was
not an
just,
easy process. It's not like something you just dab your and you go away. It's like a really frustrating physical response that happens, you know?
but I think in the end, it was good for us. Everything happens at the right time and at the right space. We could have pushed to shoot the film earlier. I could have been ready with
Uh,
the script earlier. I mean, hello, I take so long. I could have been ready with the script way earlier. We could have shot. But I think everything happens for a reason. We were supposed to be at another location and it didn't happen. We ended up in Zanzibar. All of these things added so much value. We could have
but
been
I
ready
think,
much
yes, I think
earlier.
just showing off that this is in Africa, it's not in
It's
Bora Bora,
beautiful.
it's not in Bali, it's not on an island specifically away from things, in the
You
sea, in
don't have to go
Zanzibar.
far. You can
It's
be in Africa
Zanzibar.
and still have a
And it
good
looks like
time.
that pure blue oceans. I mean, come on. That is just amazing, man. And just to show that off, I think that location worked perfectly for this movie.
Yeah. And also in contrast with Durban, I don't think people have seen Durban city portrayed in those beautiful flashy
Oh,
lights with on
yes, yes,
buildings
definitely,
and looking so
definitely.
I mean Durban looked
Even
like a
that first scene of
sexy,
Kajol running along that entire
yeah,
pool, I didn't expect it to be that clean and that
the
beautiful,
promenade.
yeah, like,
You know,
like,
we shot that just after the fucking flooding. It was insane. We're
oh,
like, oh my
lucky,
God.
lucky.
We're like, we had to wait a few days for the beaches to clean up and so that we could just get some
Damn.
sort of nice. Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk. In that 26 days, what was your roughest scene to film or most difficult one? I would have thought it was the President's Day because I related so much to it and it was such a good one.
Mm-mm. The most difficult day we had on sets was
Was it
the
the one you were
beach
talking
day.
about with Nina when she first arrived? You said that it was such a
Oh
horror.
my God. That was a fucking horrible day, man. We had wind. Oh shit, I have so many though, right? I'm trying to figure it out. It wasn't difficult because of anything apart from weather.
Oh, okay.
Our shoot was actually a very easy shoot because we had planned so hard for it. The weather fucked us six, love. Sorry for my language. I
No,
gotta
it's okay.
fucking edit
Which
that
scene was
out.
this?
All the scenes. So you know the party, when they get to the party scenes,
Or were you all shooting that all in
um,
one go? So you all
no,
had
no,
to
no.
get
We
it done.
shot it on different days, so the rain fucked us every day.
Oh
So
gosh.
I
Damn.
think only when you watch it on the big screen will you know when they're in the first night they get to Zanzibar.
Yeah, yeah, that was the
Um,
one that I was talking about where you
yeah,
showed the
so
bodies
it
and stuff.
rained that night. The second night's party, it rained for that party scene.
Oh god.
The beach scene, the first time we tried to shoot that beach scene, it rained so hard we couldn't shoot anything that day. The
Damn.
second time around, we just shot through the rain. So I guess there's quite a few. They all involve the word rain in it.
Yeah, well, Nina was talking about as well to give you the shout out to the sound guy on this as well, because even on the beach where it's usually crazy windy, there's sand ruffling, clothes ruffling, and the sound is crisp. It's actually clear
Yeah,
through all those
it's
scenes.
definitely crisp. Yeah,
Yeah, so shout
good.
out to the sound guy.
Mpilo did like an amazing job. He's also been our sound recordist for many movies since first started making movies. He's grown with us. He loves us. We've got a group of crew that they know we don't make movies often. Um, like I'm not going to make a movie every year, but things can change. But when we do want to make a film, these guys like drop everything and be like, we're going to go make that movie because we believe in it. And I think that's helped us grow
Yeah,
in
yeah.
a way. We've grown creative wise with the people we've always worked with, and so that's really lovely.
Yeah, no,
And
I said
Yano,
this
so
is
that's
taking.
Mpilo recorded the sound on set, and then Yano Miller did the sound design in final mix.
Oh, with the final mix. Okay. All right. So
Mm.
yeah, I mean, was it also the equipment upgrade as well for all of this stuff? Because I was saying this film is a new level for South African filmmaking. It was like international quality in terms of the cinematography, the sound editing, all of that.
All of those things are available in South Africa, so nobody has an excuse not to use them. It's not like we brought in some special equipment or some special thing. Trust me, everything that we use to make this movie exists here in South Africa, and all filmmakers can access it.
Wow. That's really cool.
I guess it's about how you use those resources. It takes hard work not to make a good film.
Wow. Okay.
Like the resources are around you.
Yeah.
So it's either you don't know what you want, or you don't know stylistically how this is going to feel, or what's it going to grow into, or you don't quite understand um, making a TV show and making a film are two different things. I mean, right now there's some beautiful TV shows coming out where the cinematic element is the same because they can work in film and television, but there's a fine line between that. And I
Yeah.
think it's also knowing your equipment, knowing how to light a scene, knowing what light. So all the equipment is there. It needs the knowledge of somebody to say,
Yeah,
actually, if
exactly.
you take X and Z and V and put them together, you'll get this color spectrum. It needs that.
Oh, see, and then I think it's also someone with like you that has that oversight to be like, this is what I want. This is how it should look like, or this is how I envision it to.
Oh, yeah. And if I do that, and if I see it and I don't like it, trust, I will change my mind right there and then. And everybody can get angry with me. I don't care.
Wow.
Because if it doesn't come out right, the experience for everybody is not going to be right.
Yes. No, but I can say honestly, from start to finish, there was nothing that was jarring, nothing that was out of space. It was just all the same kind of quality, and level that I
Yeah.
expected from like the beginning of the movie till the end. Even in the dark shots, even where you would expect a little graininess, you flocked off with all of those things, and I loved it.
And that's also CA who edited the film also did the coloring on the movie.
Mm.
And he spent hours and it wasn't just like slap a grade on it and see what happens. We went through it frame by frame, shot by
That's
shot to
amazing.
make sure that we're happy with
Yes, yes, I can just
what worked.
imagine that timeline with all the that timeline will look like something out of the Spotify, with all the tracks and everything on there. Okay, so yes, I just want to give a quick shout out first and congratulations to you because it was just announced today. Shout out to SA Film Chronicles for the exclusive that launched it. The Honeymoon movie made a box office debut this weekend where it got to the top 5 in the whole of South Africa box office. That is such
Yay!
you beat out Scream 6, Avatar: The Way of Water, Demon Slayer that recently released. All the anime fans that are going crazy.
Yeah,
Beat out
yeah.
all of that to get to top 5. So
Can you
congratulations.
get us to number 3?
We're pushing for number 1. We are.
Okay, cool.
And then
I'll take number
congratulations.
3 over the weekend.
Yes, number 3, definitely. Second open weekend. We got to make it happen. It's important. And then, obviously, congratulations. The movie trailer just reached 1 million views on Facebook.
How cool is that?
Yes,
And
I
we
love it.
reached 660,000 on YouTube.
Ooh, lovely. That is even more awesome. And yeah, like collectively, it's like over 2 million, I think, on all the platforms. It's
I
definitely.
would love for 2 million people to come watch this film.
Oh, that's amazing. Isn't it 2 million now, though, with top 5? It's gotta be with those box office,
You're
man.
far
Like
too
Scream
kind,
6
Enrico.
alone.
Far too kind.
Scream 6 alone was like, I think, 5 million. So you've got to be like up there with
So
with the
I
viewers
think
this weekend.
we should drive people as much as we can to the cinemas. Also, remember, we are so used to chilling at home now. I mean, the number of people that ask us, when's it coming out to
On
Netflix?
streaming,
It's
yeah.
not.
When's it
It's not
on?
coming to streaming. If you don't watch this movie in
We're
cinema,
bringing you back
then
to the cinema, yeah.
we're here to
Or
bring you back to the cinema.
they're waiting for it to go off the circuit and then you sell it to a streaming platform.
Well, good luck. You wait.
We'll see when the offer rolls to you, yeah. We'll see. But yeah,
So
okay.
if they
So
could
yes,
just,
go and watch it in the cinema. And B, from my side and personally, like what would you say was your favorite scene to shoot in this movie and like why?
I have two favorite scenes.
But like personally, not
Uh,
director.
oh, my
Over
personal
like
scene. Oh,
personal,
wow,
like wow. Or even that time when we were watching together in the main premiere in Joburg premiere, and you actually sat through the whole thing. It's like, was there a moment you're like, this is my favorite moment of the movie. I'm so glad everybody loved it.
oh my God, I don't have an answer for that. I have so many favorite ones. Look, I will say it's the beach scene.
Wait, which beach? The
Um,
one where it's like the three
this
of them.
golden shower.
Oh, that beach.
Okay, but as a director, it would have to be the jail scene. Oh shit, now I told
Ah,
everybody to go to jail.
no.
Uh,
Well,
okay,
I
as
mean,
a
like,
director,
no, that's
I'll
that's
read you
your
that for
first
the
scene,
edit.
but that's your first scene.
Oh yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
it's
yeah.
not a
Okay, cool.
spoiler, yeah.
It's that scene. The performances are so good.
That was an
And
intense
when
scene.
I watch it, I buy them as three friends who are
Mm,
going through
yeah.
this. Yeah, yeah, 100%.
But do you buy the nest? I mean, the sort of element that friends don't judge each other though, because I kind of feel like in that moment,
Oh no, we
all
definitely
the
fucking judge
judgments
each
come out.
other.
You know, when you're
Yeah,
fighting,
yeah,
all the
yeah.
judgment, all the stuff that you hold in comes out when you fight.
I think the difference is judgment is me judging you for myself.
Mm,
But calling you out on things is a form of judgment, but I'm also letting you know to your face so
mm.
that you can take that and you can do what you want with it. You can change it. You could come back at me with it, and we can converse and move through that. Um, Judgment in that way, it's not really judgment.
Mm.
It's coming to the forth,
Yeah.
or
And
bringing forth issues that can be discussed. Judgment feels like, ooh, that one's a psychopath, and then like nobody tells her to her face she's a
yeah,
psychopath.
yeah. No, but I mean, like, it happens over time with friendship. It's not that it doesn't happen. You know, we do make judgments about our friends or we notice things.
It
We're like,
happens
yeah.
to even the person you meet at the coffee shop now. You're gonna judge that person immediately.
No, but long-term friendships I'm talking about, you know, like, and the important part is like in the movie is to converse afterwards, you know, and still
Yeah.
have that cooling down period, but still come back afterwards and not let that, you know, split apart forever and let it go,
Yeah.
you know.
I mean, because also you're letting a part of you go.
Mm,
If you're going to be in a friendship for 20 years and then break up that friendship, a part of you is also gone. And it's going to go one or two ways. You either accept that it's gone and you mend your broken heart,
yeah.
or you keep trying to get it back and it eventually works out. But there's also, and I think there's a level, right? Because I don't want anyone to misconstrue this and stay in toxic friendships because then you're a Vivon
Ah,
all over again, right?
yeah.
So
But then
it's
where's
not
the
only
line
about
though? I
you.
mean, because there are some stuff that all the three friends do that's toxic to each other. But like, where's the line that you say these friends are truly toxic and I have to let them go? Or these friends are
I
toxic,
think
but they still love me.
if you look at this group of friends, they're not toxic for each other. They don't go out of their ways to hurt each other
Mm,
intentionally. They're just doing their own thing. They're disconnected at the moment. And disconnection and toxicity are two
are totally
different things,
different.
right?
Ah, I think that's the
A
difference.
toxic, that's the difference. So a toxic friendship could be the person that says, no friend, get dressed tonight. I'm on the hunt tonight and you gotta come with me. And now forcing my friend to go into a situation that's toxic.
Yeah,
Um, but telling my friend, guys, I'm going out on a date tonight. Please be on standby if I call you. Will you just fake dial me or something? That's different.
I think those two scenarios that you mentioned is actually not toxic. What would be, I think, more toxic is the friendship where the person is subtly judging you, you know, in terms of like they're trying to steer you in the way that they want the friendship to go. You know, like you didn't call
Mm.
me at this specific time, or we need to hang out in order for us to be actual friends, you know,
Yeah.
where they have like
You read my
conditions for the
message.
friendship.
You read my message and you blue ticked me. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
what?
That's the worst one. Like, why you only replied
Yeah.
like 2 weeks later to my message? You know, some weird shit like that.
It's so
That is
crazy.
toxic, yeah. But no, the ones that
Mm.
you mentioning is more like sometimes you do need that little bit of nudge from your friend, you know, to go do something or to
Yeah.
come out of your shell a little bit, you know. But like you said, not in a toxic way. So yes, I love that you mentioned the difference is that toxic friendships are where it's that subtle nonsense that you have to constantly deal with. And then it's this friendship where, what did you say? It's disconnect, like they're living their own life.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
disconnected.
And that's a lot of friendships, especially after you leave school, right? Everybody is living their own lives, you know? And it's
Yeah.
important to come together at
And
certain
also toxic ones, if I'm not in a relationship, I don't want you to be in it. So if I'm not happy, you can't be
ah,
happy.
yes. Yes.
Whereas these friends, even though they're unhappy in their own right, they don't want each other to be unhappy. They
Yeah.
want nothing but happiness for each other. That's why they're able to call each other out on their bullshits.
Okay, so like bullshit, right? Okay, so let's talk about your advice for the three characters that you sort of build as character development for the movie, right? So first we've got Minnie Lamini and her husband that are in this relationship. She wants more adventure.
Sorry, wait, Enrico, wait. Can we just do this one more time?
Yeah.
Sorry, I just want to find out. There's a call time for another thing. Just give me a second.
Oh yeah, shit, sorry. It's fine. We can even bounce if you need to.
Okay, let's do this. I have to leave
Yeah, and
in
then we'll bounce. Okay, quickly.
6 minutes.
So yes, so your ed okay,
Okay.
so let's talk about your advice for the three characters that you build over time with character development, right? You've got Minnie Lamini with a husband that's trying to be spontaneous and have a more adventurous sort of intimacy with her husband. Then you've got Kat, who's in this relationship with a person that does not value her, that sort of values themselves more and wants her to compromise herself, even though she's a goddess. She's such a beautiful creator, right? And then you've got Nox, who is a social media influencer, but also an actress, and has to now sort of build something that's not genuine to herself so that she can get back into the business, after she flopped at something. So yeah, so what's your three different sort of things that you want people to take away from these characters?
Apart from the sisterhood, the first thing everyone should take away is the sisterhood and the love. So whether
Healing through
it's
sisterhood, yes.
male or female, all males or all, because all males could go through this exact same
Yeah,
experience.
healing
It's
through
not only
brotherhood,
for
man.
girls.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so if you could lean into that and be vulnerable when you need to be, because if you're not vulnerable in those spaces, you won't have a chance to accept being vulnerable, accept the advice, and heal. Then you just go on from one facade to another, and that doesn't make you stronger. If anything, it makes you weaker. And we know there's vultures in this world waiting for us to just break down. I would love for, based on those three characters, I would love for every woman, and I'm going to say this again, to be everybody to be unapologetically themselves. When you find who you are, do not let somebody else tell you that cannot be you. So own it, live up to it, and be that person. Don't be a dick about it. Don't get an ego so big that nobody
DBK.
likes you, right? DBK. Don't
It's
be
it
kind.
fits so many scenarios, DBK.
Yeah, I would want women to start talking in their relationships. Talking with your partner is so important. In my house, we talk so much that nowadays we're like, let's just talk about it before we get ourselves into trouble.
That's already such a unique household because I can
Uh,
tell you now a vast majority don't do that.
so I would love for everybody to talk a bit. Um, if you do feel like your husband or your wife is not being faithful to you or is not giving you enough attention, don't let that emotion build up into an argument. Like, say something about it and don't be casual. Make time to say, I understand we're busy, I understand all of this, but I really want to address the situation. And believe in yourself and your career. I mean, you could be like Knox and go from one thing to another, or you could just believe in yourself and make your career work. And that takes time. There's no lucky star that's going to come one day and take you out from your under your sheets to the top of the hills. No, it doesn't work like that. It takes hard work and dedication. Nothing comes easy.
Wow. Okay, so you kind of answered my last question, but if you had one nugget to share, one nugget of wisdom to share with other creatives out there that want to be directors, that want to be writers, that want to be Bianca Isaac and creating their own awesome movie like this, what would your advice be to them?
Um, this is what I do. Just when I think I'm ready, so I would write a script and think that this is the best. And then I would take that script and give it to 4 or 5 very critical human beings, not to be judged. I just want people to point out where my flaws are. And so when somebody comes back and says, oh, the script is great, I'm like, and? because my intention when I gave it to you was to find the flaws. So as creatives, surround yourself by people who care enough about you to point out the flaws in your work so that you can go back and fix them and make your product stronger.
But how do you not get hurt by that though? Because I feel like, yeah, we can go do that, but we get kind of hurt and we kind of make it more personal when we get
I
the
think it's changing your intention behind the gesture, behind the request. So if you know that you are sending this piece to this particular person who's going to help you pick up the holes in this thing so that your product could be better, you won't feel judged when it comes back because you were expecting the holes to be picked out. And we're not saying take all the advice because I often get a lot of things and I have to weigh them all up. In a creative process, it's very difficult not to take it personally. I remember my first film, I used to like want to kill myself every time I read a bad comment. I'd be like, oh, the way to do it. But I think when you detach yourself from it, um, it becomes much easier and understanding why you want it. So I would ask as many young people or anybody wanting to direct and write, pick a group of people who you know are going to be honest with you. And it's not about your feelings, it's about making the best product. And that doesn't happen alone. It takes a team of people to make that happen.
and
Bianca
then
did
being
not wake
willing
up
to go
one
back
day.
and re-edit and rechange your story. That's kind of
Yeah, it's
daunting too,
tough.
yeah. And then obviously find yourself a Greg as well. You know, find yourself a
Find
Greg to
yourself a whole
support
team,
you.
right?
Yeah.
Because when Greg directs, I produce his films. So it's also
Ah,
about the synergy, about your protection. And then Kajal is always in our co-producer space, and Asisipo is always in our space. So we try and protect each other
oh,
so
that's
that because we
wholesome, man.
we understand you don't have the energy to do it on your own.
And did this like start before you even became an actual director and a movie producer and all of this stuff? Where you built these relationships and they sort of lasted all these years? Or was it just like, okay, this is the
No,
movie,
no,
let's
no.
get together?
It's building. It's building. You also do it the first couple of times so that you can know who you want to work with and who you can't work with. And so you drop a lot of people along the way, and then eventually you find your tribe.
Ah,
Um,
find your
I
tribe.
mean, so Kajal, Greg and I are coming on maybe, I would say 12 years, 10 to 12
Wow.
years. Kajal and I are going on.
But yeah, truly from
Kaj
casting director to this, I mean, there's so
mm,
many sides to Kajol in this movie, and I think you really brought that out for her in everything
yeah.
you
I
directed.
mean, Kajal's on the team now for about 8 years.
Wow,
And then Asisipo is new to the team, probably about four years.
amazing. Well, I wish I could talk to you for 10 hours, and I probably will. But thank you so much for giving us your time and honoring Heita FM, glitched all the sponsors with this amazing podcast
Thank you,
show.
Heita FM.
Yes. Okay, so
Hi, everyone. My name is Bianca Isaac, and I'm the director of the Honeymoon movie that's currently in cinemas now. We debuted at number 5, and we're ready to go to number 1. So, everybody, let's get to the cinemas this weekend. You're tuned into Heita FM.
oh, brilliant. Thank you so much. All right. Thank you so much for joining us on Heita FM, the entertainment news with Enrico Alfonso, and the
Oh,
director.
I'll do one more.
Yes, and the awesome director of the Honeymoon movie, Bianca Isaac. I love her so much. I love everything that she created in this movie. It is a game changer for South African films. Go check it out now. The comedy is absolutely ridiculously awesome. And it's an awesome, amazing, like she said, friendship about sisterhood and healing through sisterhood. All right, so B, let's get the last shout out from you.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Bianca Isaac, and I'm hanging out with Enrico Alfonso.
Yeah, and I'm hanging out with Bianca Isaac. Thank you again so much for honoring me with this post-release interview. I
It
loved
was
it.
even better now, hey?
Yeah, it is. And to be able to talk about the elements, because I don't think I would have been able to talk about the Kajal thing before anybody saw it. It would make no sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, I loved it. Thank you so
Okay,
much.
cool. Thank you so much
Awesome.
for having me.
Have a nice week. Hope you get better, feel better. Love you
I
so much.
will.
Take care.
Love you too, babe.
Bye.
Bye.